Hey Tiger fans, it's Mark Fitzpatrick from the Tiger Club of Kansas City. It is Tuesday, December 6th. Our guest at the Westport Flea Market today was digital reporter for Channel 41 and former Mizzou beat writer who we really miss.
Well, thank you.
Tod Palmer. Todd, we talked about a wide range of topics today.
Yeah.
When it first hit on the World Cup, you had a lot of insight into that, and you have a special you're working on regarding it.
Yeah. I was very fortunate. Jake Reed, the CEO of Sporting Kansas City, Kathy Nelson and Catherine Holland, who are the women who made this happen for Kansas City in terms of putting together the bid that ultimately won and is going to bring the tournament here in 4 years. And Mayor Quentin Lucas, just some of the people behind the scenes were very generous in talking to me about how they landed the World Cup. So I'm putting together a half-hour special that kind of answers that question about how Kansas City got the World Cup. And hopefully in part serves as my love letter to Kathy and Catherine for the work they did.
And Kathy will be our speaker here next month.
Yeah.
You said Kansas City is the smallest city ever to host a
smallest
World Cup?
market that will ever host a World Cup. Yeah, I mean it's incredible what they did. Now, if you know about the work Kathy and Catherine have done in bringing events to Kansas City, NCAA volleyball tournaments, Big 12 tournaments, international games, different stuff like that, the draft, so many different things. It's not surprising, I don't think, especially to people in that world, that Kathy and Catherine could pull something like that off, but it's still, outside of the market, it was very stunning, and for good reason, because it just doesn't happen.
We also talked a lot about the Royals' plans, and we think the downtown stadium is going to happen.
Oh, it's happening. Yeah. John Sherman made that clear. He wants a downtown stadium. He's getting a downtown stadium.
What do you see as the timeline for that? 26 is really ambitious.
I think they would love to have it done by 26. I don't think it's feasible in terms of the work that would have to go into it. Look, the lease runs out in 2031. So certainly it's going to happen before then. A lot of it's going to depend on when they decide to put it on. They're going to have to, step one's going to be getting the voters to approve an extension of the tax here in Jackson County beyond 2031. And so the timing of everything else is kind of going to fall in line with when do they decide to mount that push and try to get that tax extended. And then if and when that passes, that's when they can actually start to firm up some plans, I think.
I want to mention you co-host a podcast with Nick Jacobs every week, Fourth and One, and I recommend it.
It's all about the Chiefs.
It's all about the Chiefs. So let's talk a little about Sunday's game. Concern I have with the team, first of all, pass rush. Cincinnati has their number, and maybe Cincinnati's a better team. One thing that stands out to me, the Chiefs are 27th in the league in turnover differential. And you look at the teams below them, they're all way under 500.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are not taking the ball away. And I don't understand, and we always seem to give it away once or twice a game. That's going to come and bite them at some point, and it did Sunday.
You would think, yeah. History says that it will. Patrick Mahomes is something of a human eraser, though. The bigger issue, I think, turnovers would be great if the Chiefs could get them. And look, Juan Thornhill did have a pick. It was taken away by a penalty. When they have their opportunities, they don't seem to capitalize. I think more important is getting a consistent pass rush, because with Patrick Mahomes, even if you're not generating the turnovers, if you're at least getting stops on occasion, which if you get some sacks and get them behind the sticks and force just one or two more punts a game, the Chiefs get really, really hard to beat. If they'd force one or two more punts at Cincinnati, they probably win that game.
Right.
So I think getting a pass rush is easier than the turnover question, because honestly, turnovers a lot of times come down to luck.
Okay.
Like you think about the Travis Kelce fumble.
Right.
That's not going to happen very often. And then, how often are you going to get interceptions overturned by penalties? Well, if you're the Chiefs, a lot. I think back to the 2018 AFC Championship game, which may still be too soon. With Dee Ford being offsides, but that's just seems to be Kansas City's history here lately.
I'll never forget that flag I saw from my seat. Hey, last question. You did a great job covering Mizzou for the Star for a number of years. What favorite memory of covering the Tigers?
Oh, man. I think it's got to probably be Shane Ray returning the fumble for the touchdown in the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, that was such a great season. for the team. It was such an unexpected season for Mizzou. To go to the SEC championship game, to almost beat Auburn, have a chance to maybe even play for a title that year. And there were just so many great players on that team. And then, to have the hometown kid, Michael Sam finally came through in that game, SEC
right.
Defensive Player of the Year, and then the hometown kid, winning that Cotton Bowl to really, because I think if they lose that game, it really puts a damper on the way that season and that team is remembered. But there were so many kids, Lucas Vincent, who I had covered from the time he was a freshman in high school and then to Mizzou. Shane, who I knew from his high school days too. I mean, there were just so many kids that I got to know and really enjoyed. Marcus Lucas is another one of the Kansas City kids on that
right.
team that's probably my favorite memory is watching those guys kind of go out in style.
That was a great one. Hey, Todd, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Hey, don't forget to keep an eye out for his special on the World Cup and listen to his podcast, 4th and 1 with Nick Jacobs. Next week, our guest will be Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou, a familiar face to Tiger fans. And we got a great slate of speakers coming up. December 20th, Stephen St. John, and then January 10th, Kathy Nelson from the Sports Commission. For more information, look at kctigerclub.com.